Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. Welcome to my page, and I'm here to announce a new birth for LTV Productions. It is Speak Up. And basically, we're going to be just talking about different topics that I want to talk about, whether it's pop culture, government, anything that I feel the need that I want to just speak up on. So, welcome this new baby onto the channel. I appreciate everyone for coming. Please like this video and also subscribe. You can share this video and you can also leave your comments. So what we're going to be talking about today, I wanted to discuss in pop culture, Bell Collective. There's been this controversy over season 4 or 5, according to OWN, with the ending episode. There's been this beef that came out of nowhere between Aikisha and Latrice. Those are two castmates that I actually love. But I think it was important for me to just say what I needed to say because I did not like that both of them were beefing because these are two people that I actually like on the show. Others not so much. So I'm like, what the crap is going on? Nothing was making sense at all. Nobody could really answer any questions as to what happened. If you're not clued in, there was this brawl that took place at Latrice's opening of her restaurant, which wasn't an opening, it was a private setting. The cast was there, they were filming, and a fight took off. Other things transpired where a lost phone got involved, a dead relative or unalived relative happened, and all of a sudden now Latrice is against Aikisha. And Latrice and Letitia are trying to kick Aikisha off the show, as in what we saw in the finale episode. So I'm like, what is going on? So the night that we had heard that there was some type of fight, previously, Latrice was on Mr. Carlos King, shout out to him, on his, if you want to call it podcast show, Messy Monday. And she was calling for Aikisha to be fired. And we were like, what's going on? We knew that there was a fight because we got insight from Mr. Scotty by Nature TV. Shout out to Scotty by Nature TV. Of course, you can go to his channel. I'm gonna have all that information down below because there was an interview that was done by Latrice earlier this week on Wednesday that if you have not taken a look at it, please look at it. But anyways, we already got the tea that there was a fight that took place. He did not give any specifics. He has sources that are beyond Latrice. He's made it known that he's friends with Latrice. And also, he went to school with her. However, it was not going to have any effect on his interviewing skills. He asked for an interview with her, and she said yes. So we're going to go through that. We're also going to go through Aikisha's. She didn't do an interview, but she had her own podcast where she voiced her side of what happened. So basically what we're going to do is talk about Aikisha's side and also Latrice's side. What I will just preface in saying is, when I heard Aikisha say what she said, I believed every word of it, without even hearing Latrice's side. However, I still wanted to hear Latrice's side before coming before you all with saying anything. I think my resistance in believing before even hearing her interview, Latrice, is because all of a sudden you have this deep animosity for somebody who's never done nothing to you. You guys were in a good place, and I'm like, I don't understand. And then you were linking up with Letitia, and you both were conspiring to get her off the show. That didn't sound good to me. So you could just call me wanting to listen to the lesser of both evils, if we want to call it evil, her evil, whatever. But I just heard Aikisha's side, and I was like, what the crap? So if you watch Bell Collective, make sure if you got the OWN app, if you got whatever way you have to watch it. I think it's on HBO Max too. So there's a lot of ways that you can catch up on it if you have not catched up on it yet. So I'm gonna go with Aikisha, and I'm entitling this video a Speak Up as Bell flopped, because somebody's interview flopped, or somebody's side flopped. I'll say it that way. So let's go into what Aikisha gave to us. So Aikisha, she painted the picture of what was going on at Taste, or for the filming of that day. Of course, we know that Latrice was having 2 openings, or at least some type of presentation of whatever. Goddess Links was first, and then they were going to walk down to Taste, which I don't know how far it was. It wasn't not that far of a walk. It's just right down the road, probably 50 feet, 25 to 50 feet, whatever, So Aikisha wanted to just make straight, hey, I was not 3 hours late, no matter how it's said in the confessionals. We're trying to produce a show for you, so there's a call time, and they were waiting to get in. So we also find out with Aikisha that she was at Goddess Links and was talking with Glenn, and we'll get into that in just a few minutes. So she was at Goddess Links beforehand, and then came on over to Taste. And she came in when they were ready, producers were ready for her to come in, to try to make it the 3 hour late rule. Aikisha brought, of course, Willie, her niece, her 64-year-old sister, and a cousin. She said, I don't know where they're getting these 14 people, because what was happening beforehand is that Latrice had been saying that Aikisha brought this crowd of people into her place. Aikisha was under the impression that this was a public event. Latrice does say in her interview that it was private. I do remember her saying this on one of the episodes, that she wasn't going to have a bunch of people at the tasting or whatever anyways. So I think that she was saying something that was supposed to be private. I think that's one of the things that I can vouch for Latrice in that way. However, they were there. If folks were there, why weren't they told to leave? And I'm kind of wondering, I mean, if these 14 people were there, why weren't they told to leave? When did they show up? That's my first question. If this is all true, So Aikisha does say that Glenn was throwing shots even at Goddess Links and all that. It was still kind of ha. She said the mood changed at Taste when they actually got there. Cliff was obviously drunk. In most of the scenes that they're in, Cliff is already drunk. He was saying stuff like, I am Jesus. He was like, oh Lord, here we go. So of course the men are having words, and it started getting personal. A scene was supposed to be shot with the men in the first place saying stuff. I mean, the women were there, but this was the men's highlight. So they were just joning each other. When it got personal, all of a sudden there's a fight. We know that Cliff stood up, if you watch the show, and said, I do not like him, meaning Willie. We really did not know. I did not know until the reunion why Cliff did not like him. We could assume because of his confessionals of Willie just saying different things about Cliff. But from season 2 until the season 5 reunion, according to OWN, which should be season 4, he never said why he didn't like him. So the straw that broke the camel's back to all of a sudden this fight to break out is when Willie said that you can suck on my balls. And we're like, that? So it's weird because it's brought up in conversation, and we'll get to that pretty soon. That broke the camel's back. We from the South. Remember when Glenn, if you watched the episode, was saying, this is a different part of, you can't be da-da-da-da-da. But y'all were making fun of his hair that night. They didn't like that he had his dreads in a bun. Cliff previously said that he was a male, acting like a woman. I remember Willie clapping back and said, you had on pink or close to pink anyway, so what are you talking about me for? Blah, 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 blah. It was never supposed to be a big thing. All of a sudden, season 5, something erupted, and now people got real beef. Anyway, so the fight happened, The niece came in because she heard Willie arguing. I guess she was told to step outside, possibly to film a scene. I don't know. But all I heard is Aikisha saying that the niece came in. She heard Willie arguing, and she was like, wait. All there is just a couple people in there, and we just wanted to see what was going on. So the rumor is that 8 of Latrice's people beat down the niece. It took 8 people for y'all to beat down one person. Says something about y'all outside of what I want to say about Aikisha. Of course, she did say there wasn't 14 people of her people there. And Aikisha said that I did not see one scratch on my niece. So I don't even know if this got physical or not. We still haven't got to that. Were the police called? We don't know that. Anyways, so after they finally left Taste, Aikisha and whoever was with her, JJ and Sophia, they came by and they brought her phone. She had lost her phone, her purse, and also her Cartier diamond bracelet. So they were able to bring back, I think, the phone and purse that night, but the bracelet is gone. They kind of like, they went over to Aikisha and Willie's home, which is around the corner of Taste. Keep that in mind. So when they came over, they just were commenting on what was going on and how did this happen, blah, 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 blah. When they were done speaking of it, everyone went home on their separate ways. So I guess maybe the following day or whatever, production had called Aikisha and said, would you like to do a scene with Latrice and Letitia? And Aikisha said, no, I don't want to do a scene with Letitia, but I do want to do a scene with Latrice. Because if you watch the episode, it was about to get heated between Letitia and Aikisha. Like they were going to fight. And Aikisha was defending her man, and then all of a sudden she wants to defend her man. Letitia does. So she agreed to meet with Latrice. Production said, they'll meet at 11. It didn't happen. And then they were supposed to meet at 1. After 1, production said they're not doing that at all. Aikisha figured that, obviously, Letitia is talked to Latrice to get Latrice to not meet with her. All the while, they're filming a scene to say, let's get rid of her. She needs to get out of the collective. I said, oh, that's dirty. So you don't even want to hear Aikisha's side. You haven't even talked to her. Latrice says that Aikisha did not talk to her. According to Aikisha, during the interview, Latrice did not say that Aikisha did not try to contact her. We didn't even get into that. Let's see. So, Aikisha said that she called her twice. Latrice did not answer, so she knew that somebody was in her head. Anyways, by May 24th of 2024, Aikisha and Willie, they left to go back to New Jersey. June 10th, she gets a text from Latrice, and it was quite aggressive. And the part I just want to say at the end, she said, I know that you got my phone, or at least production said that you have my phone, my nephew's phone, and I need it back ASAP. And Aikisha was like, who is she talking to? So she called Latrice. At first, this first call, it was quite pleasant. Latrice let him know that production said that they gave the phone to one of your family members. And Aikisha said, oh, really? Who was it? Can you describe them? And she said, oh, that's my niece. I will ask her about it. Aikisha says that she did talk to her niece about it. And she said, yeah, the production gave you the phone because they thought possibly it was yours or whatever. When I came to your house that night after the fight, and I asked you, was this your phone? And they said, no, I got my phone. So she said that after that, she threw it out. Aikisha did not contact Latrice. She said she forgot. Anyways, about a week later, I think on June 17th, Latrice ended up contacting her saying, very rude and crazy, before this escalates, let me know what's up, basically about this phone situation. Aikisha calls her again and says, I apologize, I did not call you after that. It did slip my mind. However, my niece said that the phone is gone. She threw it out the window. From that point, Latrice went off crazy. And after she said what she wanted to say, she hung up. Aikisha called her again, and Latrice is going off some more. And Latrice hangs up again. And Aikisha said, look, I was saying my stuff and she was saying her stuff. In no way was Aikisha acting like she was just sitting there like a little lamb on the phone. Let's just get that out of anybody's mind, or if Aikisha's trying to be angelic in that exchange. But it's all based upon how Latrice was reacting. So this was in June. They got a call in regards to that they're having the reunion in August of 2024. So they were sent all the episodes that they need to watch. She did not learn that Latrice's nephew had passed away until she watched the episodes, which was 2 days before the reunion. She even talked to Soguchi, and she's like, I didn't know that he passed away. I didn't know what was going on. Really, Aikisha did not understand the energy that was coming towards her. Like, what? Oh, why do you think? If anybody was coming to you very hostile and aggressive, how encouraged are you to go look for this phone? You won't. So Latrice gave this long, but this is before the reunion, gave this long text. And you can go to Aikisha's page. I'm going to put that link in the description also. I mean, she just spewed out so much trash. It was very vile and very disrespectful. There's one thing that was discussed that was in the text that is totally wrong, that she still don't get to this day, and not and don't have any social cues, Latrice. We'll get into that in just a minute. But yeah, so that was the end of that. Of course, we know that Aikisha has left the show, but she made up her mind after the fight that they were gone. I have no clue. We'll get into that in just a second. Now we're going to go on to Latrice's interview. Latrice did an interview with Scotty by Nature, giving you the real tea. Shout out to him. And also Josiah. I don't remember his page, but I'll have his page. I don't know if you know him or them. So let me be a gateway, and you guys can go over to their channels and subscribe and check out their content. So they are bigger than me, but I don't know who you know. So, hey. So she did an interview this past Wednesday, and of course there's a lot of pleasantries, and we're working our way into the interview. Just to give a little preface of what's happening. They talk about Latrice and Marie. Latrice and Marie are in my opinion, the Nene and Kenya of Bell Collective. Two people that should get along, but they just can't get it right. Anyways, a question was asked, how did you all come to common ground? Because this season, finally at the end of the season, there is no bad blood between them, and I guess they're getting along better. Latrice says that she's a peaceful person. And, let's just be friends. She said that she never had an issue. And she doesn't hold any animosity. Now, according to Marie, Latrice sued her. Not just once, but twice. But she is a peaceful person. And she's never had an issue. It's always been Marie. That's what Marie said, during the season, that she was sued twice by Latrice and lost twice. But she's a peaceful person and holds no animosity. But didn't want to meet up with Aikisha. Okay. Okay, so Latrice and Letitia, what's going on there? They are asking, and I'm paraphrasing, how in the world did you start a new relationship or restart the relationship you had with her after all that she's done and said about you? Because before the season started, you were an insecure bitch. And was trying to fight you. She was going to jump you. And she said, I'm a forgiving person, and I'll meet you where you at. And she felt like Letitia gave her a genuine apology. And they said, you can really go back to that relationship because it's just like, She said, if you breathe in, I don't trust you. So you don't trust nobody. She says that I'll forgive, but not forget. Okay. Okay. Scotty by Nature, he asked a question about, and how Letitia moves. Don't you feel like her behavior is quite contradicting? She says that she doesn't really watch the show. She watched the first episode, but I saw her on Twitter before. She was tweeting some other episodes, not just the first episode. She said, let me get into this episode, and she started reacting to what she was watching. So, but we'll go with the first episode. Yeah, she said that she was busy. So she asked for some examples. Scotty said, here are some. She says that she misses your friendship once the cameras come on, but y'all didn't speak for over 7 months. He does not understand why Letitia is forcing all these conversations, her and Marie. So Gucci and Selena. But with Dr. Antoinette that came back this season, she was done and she didn't want to have no conversation. She wasn't inviting her anywhere. But you talked so much about sisterhood. And they also said, if you're for this whole sisterhood, why are you so eager to kick off Aikisha? And then Latrice's comeback is, a lot of people on the cast do that. We know, but we're talking about Letitia right now, the queen bee of this show. But that basically was thrown out of it because that was her defense. Now we start talking about the relationship of Aikisha. I think it was Josiah that asked the question, how was your relationship with Aikisha coming into the season? Latrice replied saying, coming into the season, I didn't have anything for any of the girls. And we're like, huh? In my head. She said all the stuff that she was finding out, they were doing all this sneaky stuff. I just had nothing for anybody. Are you going to answer the question now? Because what does that have to do anything about your relationship with Aikisha? Sneaky stuff. What is the sneaky stuff? So Scotty, he said, is there anything in particular about Aikisha that made you not want to really mess with her? And then all of a sudden Latrice says she has said and done so much, but then she says she has, after she said that, she had said and done so much, Aikisha, blah 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 blah, I done lost it. She has never been that person that I thought about like that. What? Even the stuff that she tried to do to me did not prosper. She's never been a conversation of mine. What? So in so many words, it's basically you're saying that nonchalantly, I don't think about her. She's not important to me. Da 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 da. And you have this way of Latrice always doing this and downing other people. You call other people insecure, but is it more true of what Letitia did say about you? Because if that's your go-to every time about someone, they're nothing. Da 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 da. I think that's quite crazy. That is your go-to every time, and everybody jealous. Okay. So Scotty was trying to bring out what was the issue at the beginning of the season that you potentially were not fooling with Aikisha. He said, as far as the stuff that she was doing towards you, are you talking about her inserting her opinion about Cliff and your marriage and all that? Then Latrice says, I've never had an issue with her. I don't even think about her like that, to have an issue with her. And she said, what was said at the reunion, it was what it was. I don't care. So you had no issue with Aikisha, period. So then getting you with the real T, Terrence, shout out to him. So the word on the street is that Latrice, you believe that this was all calculated as far as the fight that happened. And Latrice said yes. And the whole thing about Cliff was the one that started the whole thing by standing up. No, Cliff is just animated. Drunk. He may be animated, but drunk. She says that him standing up did not start the fight. How many of y'all think that is actually true? Anybody standing up is a provoking type of action of something could go down. If y'all agree with that, let me know. If you don't agree with that, that's fine also. Blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, Latrice says, everyone had their part in this. And then Scotty was like, well, what made it calculated? She said she was fumbling over her words. She really couldn't come up with anything. And she said that it was how the whole entire day went. What does that mean? How the entire day went. What happened in your day? Blah, 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 blah. So Scotty, he let it be known, look, as we are watching the show, we've been trying to fill in the gaps and all of that. Even what they do on Wednesdays is they usually have roast and review. Scotty, Terrence, and Josiah, where they come together and talk the show together. They do their own reviews and then they review together. So we've been trying to figure out, I've been trying to figure out, everybody's been trying to figure out what happened. I think Josiah brought up, even from New Orleans, and Willie has said this, there's been no problem. Willie has said that he thought that they reached an agreement as to how that they were going to flow with each other. He already said that I respect everybody and I don't have no issue with anyone. And the only thing, just keep it cute. Let's just be respectful of one another, whether we're going to be best friends or not. So Latrice does confirm that nothing happened between New Orleans until the Taste taping. But somehow it was calculated. That don't make no sense. Latrice says, she thinks that the jokes went too far. And she says, she said sucking my DICK, but it was really sucking my balls, was something that Glenn did not like. And Terrence brought up, well, Willie was called a woman, a belle. So Willie should have had the same type of reaction when he was called all of that too, right? Then Latrice said, well, we have to go back to season 2. Willie's been saying a bunch of stuff since season 2 about them. And it's true. Aikisha did say on her podcast that the actual joning, it started with the other men because they were making fun of Willie's outfit that he had when they went to go fishing. So who started the jonesing was them. And Willie just added on, just went with the flow. I'm just saying, however y'all wanted to deal with it. If you think that Willie was the first one to do it, cool. If you think that it started with the other men first, cool. But this is the news. Willie has been calling, we found this out, Willie has been calling Cliff gay and a drunk since season 2. And all of us was like, really? So, and then she says, well, everyone has their vice, and Glenn didn't like it. So are you telling me, Latrice, that Cliff likes being called gay since season 2? Because you said he was saying stuff on and off camera, even though he's never around. Right, Letitia? They're never around. So how is that possible? They're never around. They film and then go, but how do you know anything that's going on? And it's especially for someone that you don't think about, Latrice. She ain't done nothing to you that would make you want to have her on your mind. That's what you said. Okay, so again, we did not know why Cliff did not like Willie until the reunion. Scotty just wanted to clarify some stuff about this whole putting the blame on Willie. So y'all put the blame on Willie, you, Letitia, but now you admit to everyone that he's not at fault. How do you feel about Aikisha saying that she did not come in malice? She says, I do believe that she came in malice. And they said, how? Her people said it. Her people said it. She said, I don't have no reason to lie. Nobody on this show can say that I lied. But didn't you just lie about Willie? Y'all were blaming Willie. And now you admitted in this interview that all of the men played their part. I bet you can tell who flopped. And then all of a sudden she tries to flip it and says, well, Aikisha, she didn't stand up in what she said. She was lying, saying that she was calling the Bells ugly. That's your defense, ma'am? That's your defense. So I looked up the word malice. Malice means wrongful intentions, especially as increasing the guilt of certain offenses. Y'all take it for whatever you want to take it for. That doesn't make any sense. So then Scotty asked, who was her people? And Latrice got confused. You really want me to say their names? If you bought about it and you got all this passion about all this stuff, why aren't you saying names? As Monique said, say their names or keep it on the playground. She said that she found, after the whole fight, her family was calling around to find out what's up, why, and basically, how did this start and what was going on. She said that this was way after the fight, and I'm assuming days after. Latrice's people went to asking what was up, and Aikisha's family verified it, that Aikisha and Willie came in malice, and it was calculated, and they wanted to get something started. But all the 3 men played their part in it. She brought up about, you've seen in the text about me bringing up the Palahatchee. Aikisha was saying that, why are we in this fight that has something to do with the Palahatchee people? Okay, 2 things I want to say. What I could connect that with is what Aikisha was saying in her own video. She asked Latrice, like, why are you fighting a battle between me and Letitia right now? We don't have no problems. The second thing I can say is season 2. What was going on at that brunch? Remember, that was the same one where the waffle was cold or something was burnt, and either the waffle was cold and the bacon was burnt, or was vice versa, whichever one. So Letitia had Palahatchee crew. Aikisha also had her crew. Her crew and the Palahatchee crew don't get along. Palahatchee is where Letitia comes from. Is that what they're referring to? Were some of those people there? I don't know. Still confused on that. So she called her family. Then she says that why she said lower class in the text is that Aikisha called her family, Aikisha's family, lower class. So I was just saying what she was saying. Everything about you is to tear another person down when you're trying to, you want to insult people and you want to step on people. I don't believe that one bit, Latrice. I don't believe that. And then she said, Terrence asked a question about Aikisha as far as rounding about people. Did Aikisha call the people to come to Taste before or after Taste? And Latrice said before. That's what your people are telling. But again, all three of the men played a part into what happened at Taste. This makes no sense, Latrice. So we move on to the whole phone situation. Terrence asks a question, why did it take you so long for you to address the whole phone situation? Latrice says that the nephew had already mentioned to Latrice that the phone was gone and that production gave his phone away. He was able to ping his phone and he went to the location of where it was pinged, which was around Aikisha's area. But he couldn't stay that long. He had to leave to go back to wherever his location is. He said he went out there for 2 days in a row, searching for the phone. Latrice says that she didn't pay no attention to it. He's grown. He can go find his phone. He can handle this situation on his own. I got to handle PR after what happened at Taste. So she said that she was not concerned about his phone. So a week later, after him leaving Jackson, wherever he's from, he was unalived. So Latrice says that she doesn't believe that the niece threw the phone out. But out the window. And then she says, why do I need to make an issue with you, Aikisha, about my nephew's phone? But you did. That was even your ending storyline on the finale and at the reunion. And you wanted to rely on your nephew's death. Poor you to get sympathy for whatever happened at Taste. That doesn't make any sense. She says, of course I know the phone is gone. Latrice texts Aikisha. She said that she was calm. This is initially. This was in June. After she texted, Aikisha called her. Then she said that the phone was lost. A production gave my niece the phone. And I would call you back. Oh, this is what's up. Aikisha said that her phone was lost. And Latrice didn't believe that because she said that one of Selena's twins saw her on her phone. And then next thing you know, more people were coming to the restaurant. So they're assuming that she was calling for other people to come to handle whatever brawl was happening at the restaurant. That's what I'm getting from this conversation. If it's something else, y'all let me know. So Scotty said, what made you go off in the text? Then she was, what made me go off in the text? You know, she fondles her hair when she's nervous. I was emotional. I know you know where the phone is at. Basically, that's made her go off. It's because Aikisha didn't contact her back that fueled whatever she was feeling. If you felt like she had malice or whatever, your people was telling that her people said all of that, I can see why you were going off. However, Aikisha doesn't understand why you're going off the way that you are. So she is defensive and she's going to say whatever back to you. So I think she talked about her feelings like why did you get that upset, or why didn't you explain as to why that your nephew was unalive? She said, well, why still take his phone? Nobody can tell me how to feel about anything, especially when I know the facts. Do you? Because at the reunion, you were saying that Marie told you that Aikisha told Marie that her niece threw out the phone. What are you talking about? Like, there was this totally different storyline that was portrayed at the reunion. Aikisha said it was a public event, and I spoke about this earlier. Latrice said it wasn't. It was private because the restaurant really wasn't ready. It wasn't up to code, all that good stuff, no kitchen and all that. And to my knowledge, I believe that was true as far as what I was hearing her even say on the show. Why certain people were invited, and I don't know. But that's just... we're going to leave that there because I don't know how to really answer that to say who's right or wrong. If Aikisha should have brought these people. Either way, these folks weren't turned away when Aikisha came. Scotty plays the commercial for Got His Links. That was more for the public and not Taste. A question was asked, I think it was Terrence. Do you think the phone situation could have been handled differently on all sides? I think that was Scotty. Whoever. Latrice said yes. If Aikisha would have said that the phone was gone, instead of let me keep thinking, and then she jumps to something else by saying, this is my nephew's last keepsake, so we're supposed to feel sympathy for you. Aikisha don't even know what's up. Do you understand how that feels? What? If she had told me right away, I'm not a hard person. So you're mad that they said, or you think that they're lying, that the niece threw the phone out the window. And that just set you off for these long paragraphs of text. That makes no sense to me. I think it was asked, why did I have to tell her about my nephew's death? Even when she was on the phone with me, she told me to buy my nephew a new phone. Of course. She don't know that he's dead. What do you expect her to say, ma'am? How do you expect her to react? Just get the phone. Be respectful. If she don't have the phone, if the woman is in New Jersey, what is she going to do for you? Aikisha did say, if I knew some of the circumstances, even in how she was approaching me, I would have had enough sympathy to look for it. How do you think responding with someone in a very aggressive way, don't know where you're coming from and why, how do you expect people to react? This makes no sense whatsoever, Latrice. And what I do feel like, if Aikisha did not come out with her story, you would have still ran with this narrative. We do feel empathy for your nephew. This whole situation could have been avoided. You refused to speak to her, Aikisha, when everything first happened. You're saying that you're getting all the word on the street about what was really going down, yet you're saying that all the men are culpable in this whole situation. And what are we supposed to do with that? Nothing adds up to what you were saying, and nothing is believable. I believed Aikisha in the beginning, and I believe her now. Why you decided to keep up all of this ish that you said that you're not a hard person about, I don't know. Is it grief? Maybe so. But it wasn't fair to misjudge her and you didn't even give her the facts of what's going on. The only other thing I'm going to speak on, Latrice, is how you treated the gentleman on the interview. Why would you be having your phone go? Y'all can listen to the interview. Your phone was beeping and beeping, beeping and beeping with text all through the interview. All because you have something going on at Taste. That you scheduled this interview to take place before you go to Taste, and everybody's bothering you. You didn't put it on vibrate, silence, or anything. Obviously, people know that you're doing something. I believe that you disrespected Scotty greatly, and that is a friend of yours. Terrence greatly, and also Josiah. Mostly Scotty because you have some type of relationship. He didn't deserve that. I've never seen you do that to DJ Richie Sky when you were on there. Never seen you do that to Mr. Carlos King. I know you won't do that to him. I know. You would not do that. I've never seen you act this way. And I believe that possibly these were all diversions because you didn't know really what to say. That's what I'm left to assume, since you get to assume things about people and you don't even want to make things right with this woman. And I bet it's so much better since she's gone that you don't really have to be accountable for how you were treating her in this whole situation. And you didn't want to make things right, even though you say that you are a peaceful person. You've shown a different side. Now, people would say, well, Marie's been trying to tell us. The most I'm going to say to y'all is, I don't care what Marie had to say. Maybe I should go back and probably respect her voice, but I don't really. Anyways, yeah, very disappointed. You disrespected the heck out of your interviewers. You were unprofessional. And some people say that you need media training. You probably do. But again, some of that stuff is just common decency without some type of AR or PR training. I think the guys handled it well. I think that they should have went off on you. Or at least got you together. But still handled you a lot more nicer than I probably would have, because I would have been so frustrated. I don't know what you're going to bring this season. I don't know what's going to happen with you, but the cover is blown. Oh, and people were talking about Nappy Head, which was in the text. Why people are upset about the whole nappy-headed conversation is because, Latrice, your business is beauty. In specifics, you handle the hair. you're selling women hair products. How would you feel if someone was disrespecting someone that is buying your product and you have these awful things to say about somebody's hair? It's just like, why would somebody queer really want to go to Chick-fil-A? Now, you can do whatever you want, but you know that they got Christian values and they are against homosexuality and lesbianism. So if they were actually wanting to service the queer people, they're not coming. A lot of you. Some of you just don't care, and that's your choice. However, how can you be offensive to people in the market that you're trying to sell people and stuff? So that's where people are offended. And if people stop buying from you after that offensive thing that you didn't even want to get straight, and you still want to blame Aikisha, which made you sound crazy. I don't know. All I can say is, Latrice, get it together. And you owe Aikisha an apology. And I know you're not going to give it because you're going to rely on your poor nephew's death. And I don't like that. It's manipulative. And I think you're better than this. But hey, good job to Scotty by Nature, to Mr. Terrence, and also Mr. Josiah. I don't see anything wrong that you guys did. You guys tried, and she was trying to skate around answers and not really wanting to give the truth, because the truth is not in her for this particular situation. Do better, Latrice. But that's all I do have. I should not have stayed on here for an hour or whatever the time you're seeing this, but I think I'm going to cut this in 2 parts. But if you like how I reviewed this, I'm going to think of other ways of how to give you the news or whatever. I should have gave you some type of cut down thing, but I didn't know how to. Anyways, I love you, Aikisha. I'm going to continue to support you. I love you, Latrice. I do have my eye on you now. And I got to see how you move thus forward. And we shall see. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. Also subscribe if you are new. Leave your comments below. Leave your feedback. And until the next one, peace.